The echoes of clashing swords and the thunder of cannon fire have defined human civilization for centuries. What if the very strategies employed in warfare could determine the fate of nations? The evolution of warfare reveals a fascinating narrative of ingenuity and adaptation throughout history. Warfare can be traced back to the earliest days of human society, where rudimentary tools were transformed into weapons. In the Stone Age, tribes fought for resources, establishing the primal nature of conflict. As civilizations flourished, so did the complexity of warfare. The introduction of chariots in Mesopotamia revolutionized battle tactics, allowing armies to move swiftly and strike with precision. In ancient Egypt, the use of archers became a vital strategy. They provided ranged capabilities that reshaped how battles were fought, allowing for greater tactical flexibility. The Greeks introduced the famed phalanx formation, a dense grouping of soldiers that maximized strength and defense. This tactic would influence military strategies for centuries to come. The Roman Empire epitomized strategic warfare with their legions, known for discipline and formation fighting. Their approach to logistics and training set a benchmark for future military organizations. The Middle Ages brought about the rise of cavalry, where mounted knights became the elite force on the battlefield. Their armored charge could turn the tide of battle, showcasing the importance of mobility. With the advent of gunpowder, warfare transformed dramatically. Firearms and cannons began to replace traditional melee combat, changing tactics and battlefield dynamics forever. The 17th century saw the rise of linear tactics, where soldiers fought in organized ranks. This approach maximized firepower and was a precursor to modern military strategies. The Napoleonic Wars heralded a period of bold tactics and grand strategies. Napoleon Bonaparte utilized speed and maneuverability, changing how wars were conducted across Europe. The Industrial Revolution introduced technology to warfare, with railways and telegraphs enhancing communication and logistics. Wars became faster, larger, and more deadly. World War I marked a significant evolution, characterized by trench warfare and the introduction of tanks and airplanes. Strategies shifted as technology outpaced traditional methods. World War II saw total war, where entire nations mobilized. The use of blitzkrieg tactics demonstrated how speed and surprise could dismantle enemy defenses. The Cold War introduced a new dimension to warfare, characterized by proxy wars and nuclear strategies. The threat of mutual destruction led to a focus on deterrence rather than direct conflict. In recent decades, asymmetric warfare has emerged, where conventional armies face unconventional tactics. This shift has fundamentally altered how conflicts are fought today. Cyber warfare has now entered the fray, a digital battlefield where information can be weaponized. This new frontier challenges traditional notions of security and conflict. The evolution of warfare reflects humanity's capacity for innovation and adaptation. Each tactical change has not only altered the battlefield, but also the course of history itself. From the simple weapons of prehistoric tribes to the complex strategies of modern warfare, the journey illustrates the intertwined nature of conflict and civilization's progress. As we examine the lessons learned from past conflicts, we gain insights into the present. Understanding the evolution of tactics is crucial for shaping future strategies. The impact of warfare extends beyond the battlefield, influencing politics, economies, and societies. Each war has reshaped nations and defined eras in time. Military strategies have often dictated the rise and fall of empires. The ability to adapt to changing circumstances has been vital for survival and dominance. In the context of globalization, warfare strategies now encompass international relations and diplomacy. The interconnectedness of nations has transformed military considerations from guerrilla tactics to cyber operations. The diversity of modern warfare reflects the complexity of global conflicts. Adapting to new challenges is more crucial than ever. Cultural perspectives on warfare shape how societies respond to conflict. Understanding these views is essential for fostering peace and reconciliation. As technology continues to advance, the nature of warfare will inevitably change. Emerging technologies present both opportunities and ethical dilemmas for future generations. The evolution of warfare serves as a mirror reflecting the broader human experience. It reveals our struggles, triumphs, and the constant quest for peace amidst chaos. Throughout history, we witness a pattern. Warfare drives innovation. Each conflict has led to advancements that transcended the battlefield, influencing multiple facets of society. The legacy of warfare can be found in the art, literature, and philosophy inspired by conflict. These cultural expressions tell stories of sacrifice and valor across generations. War memorials and monuments serve as reminders of the cost of conflict. They honor those who fought and provide a space for reflection on the human cost of war. Historical narratives of warfare shape national identities. They instill a sense of pride and remembrance, connecting generations to their past struggles and achievements. Understanding the evolution of warfare encourages us to engage in discussions about peace and conflict resolution. History teaches that every action has consequences. As future challenges arise, the lessons of the past will guide military and civilian leaders alike. Preparing for future conflicts requires an understanding of historical contexts. The continuous evolution of warfare prompts us to ponder the fundamental nature of humanity. Are we destined to repeat the cycle of conflict, or can we learn to forge lasting peace? Ultimately, the history of warfare is a testament to human creativity and resilience. It challenges us to seek better solutions and strive for a world where peace prevails. The evolution of warfare is not merely a tale of battles won or lost. It embodies the story of humanity itself. As we reflect on these strategies and their impacts, may we aspire to build a future defined by understanding and cooperation. As the centuries progressed, one significant shift in warfare was the emergence of cavalry. This new force provided mobility and speed that infantry could not match, turning the tide in many battles. The cavalry's ability to strike quickly and retreat made them a formidable component on the battlefield. During the Middle Ages, feudal systems shaped the nature of warfare. Knights, heavily armored and trained in combat, became the elite warriors of their time. Their role was not just to fight but to uphold the chivalric code, influencing the morality of warfare itself. The introduction of gunpowder in the 9th century revolutionized military strategies. Initially used in fireworks, its potential as a weapon changed the dynamics of siege warfare. Castles and fortifications that once seemed impregnable began to crumble under cannon fire. The 17th century witnessed the rise of linear tactics, where armies deployed in lines to maximize firepower. This formation allowed soldiers to fire in volleys, creating devastating effects on enemy ranks. The Battle of Naseby in 1645 exemplified this tactical evolution. As the Age of Enlightenment emerged, so did new theories on warfare. Strategists began advocating for more dynamic and flexible tactics. Figures like Frederick the Great of Prussia demonstrated the effectiveness of mobility and adaptability in combat, significantly altering European warfare. The advent of the Industrial Revolution brought about unprecedented changes in warfare. The introduction of railways allowed for rapid troop movements, while advances in weaponry increased lethality. The American Civil War showcased these transformations, highlighting both the horrors and innovations of modern combat. World War I marked a significant transformation in combat strategies. With the widespread use of trench warfare, soldiers faced unimaginable conditions, and the static nature of the front lines required new tactics to break the deadlock, leading to innovations like tanks and air support. Following the horrors of World War I, military strategies evolved towards combined arms warfare. This approach integrated infantry, tanks, and aircraft to create a more cohesive fighting force. The Blitzkrieg strategy of World War II exemplified this innovation, striking with speed and surprise. The Cold War era introduced the concept of asymmetric warfare, as conflicts often pitted conventional forces against guerrilla fighters. This type of warfare challenged traditional military strategies and emphasized the importance of intelligence, mobility, and public support. In the modern age, technology has radically transformed warfare once again. Drones, cyber warfare, and information technology shape today's battlefields. Strategies now involve not just physical combat, but also psychological and digital dimensions, making warfare more complex and multifaceted than ever before. As nations grapple with these new forms of warfare, the ethical implications are profound. Questions arise about the morality of drone strikes, the impact of cyber attacks on civilian infrastructure, and the use of AI in combat scenarios. The evolution of warfare is now a dialogue about humanity's future. Looking ahead, the evolution of warfare will continue to adapt to emerging technologies and geopolitical shifts. As nations innovate militarily, the lesson of history remains clear. Warfare is a reflection of humanity's struggles and aspirations. Understanding these tactics is crucial for future peace. Thus, the cycle of innovation and adaptation in warfare will persist. Each era's strategies inform the next, creating a continuous dialogue between past and present. As the world continues to change, so too will the ways in which we confront conflict and seek resolution. As empires expanded, the use of cavalry became a game changer on the battlefield. The swift mobility of horsemen allowed armies to flank their enemies and execute rapid strikes, altering the dynamics of warfare. This era marked a shift where speed and maneuverability began to rival sheer numbers, influencing strategies for centuries to come. The introduction of gunpowder in the 9th century dramatically transformed warfare. Initially used for fireworks in China, it soon found its way into military applications, leading to the creation of cannons and firearms. This technological leap made traditional fortifications less effective and changed siege tactics forever. The 17th century witnessed the rise of linear tactics, where armies formed lines for optimal firepower. This formation allowed for coordinated volleys and maximized the effectiveness of musket fire, pushing generals to rethink traditional strategies. The Battle of Naseby in 1645 exemplified the success of these tactics against older formations. Simultaneously, the Napoleonic Wars showcased the effectiveness of combined arms, integrating infantry, cavalry, and artillery. Napoleon's innovative strategies highlighted the importance of rapid maneuvering and decisive leadership in warfare. His campaigns emphasized how adaptability could lead to overwhelming victories on the battlefield. The Industrial Revolution further revolutionized warfare with advancements in technology such as railroads and telegraphs. These innovations allowed for faster troop movements and improved communication, significantly impacting the logistics of war. The American Civil War highlighted how industrialization could determine the outcome of conflicts. As nations entered the 20th century, World War I introduced trench warfare, where soldiers faced stagnant fronts and brutal living conditions. The strategy centered on attrition, aiming to wear down the enemy over time. This new form of warfare necessitated innovations such as tanks and aerial reconnaissance to break the stalemate. World War II saw the rise of blitzkrieg tactics, emphasizing speed and surprise. Combined arms attacks with fast-moving ground forces, supported by air power, overwhelmed opponents. The rapid victories of the German army in the early years of the war reshaped military doctrines globally, showcasing the importance of coordination. The Cold War era shifted focus to nuclear strategy, fundamentally changing the nature of confrontations between superpowers. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction, MAD, ensured that any nuclear engagement would lead to total annihilation. This led to a precarious balance of power where the threat of war became a strategy in itself. In recent decades, asymmetric warfare has emerged as a dominant form of conflict, where smaller, less equipped forces challenge larger conventional armies. This approach highlights guerrilla tactics and psychological strategies, as seen in conflicts like those in Iraq and Afghanistan. It forces traditional militaries to adapt to unconventional threats. As technology continues to evolve, cyber warfare has emerged as a new frontier. Nations now face threats that extend beyond the physical battlefield, leading to espionage and disruption of critical infrastructure. The implications of these tactics raise questions about the future of conflict and the nature of national security. The emergence of autonomous weapons and drones signifies a new chapter in warfare. These technologies promise efficiency but also pose ethical dilemmas regarding the role of human decision-making in life and death situations. The challenge lies in ensuring that advancements do not outpace our moral frameworks. Looking ahead, the future of warfare will likely involve a hybrid of traditional and modern tactics. The blending of conventional forces with cyber capabilities and advanced technologies will redefine strategies in unforeseen ways. Understanding this evolution is crucial for policymakers and military leaders worldwide. The evolution of warfare is not just about tactics. It reflects the broader changes in society, politics, and technology. Each advancement has shaped the context in which wars are fought, influencing national identities and international relations. As we continue to reflect on these developments, we must also strive for peace and understanding as global citizens. In examining the lessons from history, it becomes evident that the strategies of warfare often inform diplomatic efforts. Negotiations and treaties are frequently shaped by military outcomes, as nations seek to consolidate power or recover from losses. The dialogue between war and peace remains a crucial aspect of international relations. As we delve deeper into the intricacies of warfare, the importance of studying these tactics becomes evident. They serve not only as lessons in strategy, but also as reminders of the human cost of conflict. History teaches us that the consequences of war extend far beyond the battlefield, affecting lives and shaping future generations. The story of warfare is one of constant adaptation and resilience. Each era has produced leaders who have redefined strategies to meet the challenges at hand. As technology and society evolve, so too must our understanding of conflict, ensuring that we learn from the past to build a more peaceful future. As we reflect on the evolution of warfare, it is crucial to remember the implications of these strategies for our world today. The lessons learned from history can guide us toward a more peaceful coexistence, where understanding and diplomacy replace conflict. The journey of human civilization continues, shaped by the battles fought and the resilience shown through the ages. With the rise of the Roman Empire, warfare evolved dramatically. Romans implemented disciplined formations, like the famous testudo, enhancing their tactical flexibility. This allowed them to conquer vast territories, transforming their military into a formidable force that influenced future civilizations. As the Middle Ages approached, the introduction of the knight changed the face of warfare. Heavily armored and mounted, these warriors relied on shock tactics to break enemy lines and establish their dominance on the battlefield, which became a hallmark of feudal systems. The invention of gunpowder in the 9th century marked another turning point in military strategy. By the 15th century, cannons and muskets began to replace traditional melee combat, leading to a shift from armored knights to infantry-based tactics. The Renaissance brought about advancements in artillery and fortifications. The development of star forts enabled defenders to counteract the long-range power of cannons, altering how sieges were conducted and leading to more strategic planning. As the Enlightenment dawned, the concept of total war emerged. Nations began to mobilize entire populations and economies for warfare, seen vividly during the French Revolutionary Wars, where the citizen-soldier concept was born. The Industrial Revolution further transformed warfare with innovations like the steam engine and railroads. Armies could transport troops and supplies more efficiently, significantly impacting the scale and speed of conflicts, most notably seen in the American Civil War. The introduction of trench warfare during World War I represented a drastic tactical shift. Soldiers faced new challenges of attrition and stalemate, with trenches becoming symbols of the brutal and grueling nature of modern conflict. World War II saw the evolution of combined arms tactics, integrating infantry, armor, and air support. This synergy allowed for rapid, mechanized assaults that changed battlefield dynamics, exemplified by the blitzkrieg strategy employed by Germany. The Cold War introduced a new dimension to warfare, the ideological battle between capitalism and communism. Proxy wars in Asia, Africa, and Latin America showcased how nations engaged in conflicts without direct confrontation, reshaping global alliances. As technology advanced, asymmetric warfare emerged, where smaller forces utilized guerrilla tactics against larger conventional armies. This strategy was prominently displayed in conflicts like the Vietnam War, challenging traditional military doctrines. The 21st century introduced cyber warfare, where battles are fought in the digital realm. Nations engage in hacking, misinformation, and disinformation campaigns, reflecting a new frontier in conflicts that can disrupt economies and societies without traditional combat. Drones represent a new evolution in warfare, allowing for precise targeting and surveillance without putting soldiers at risk. This technology has reshaped military operations, raising ethical questions about the nature of combat. As we navigate the complexities of modern warfare, the role of strategy remains paramount. Nations must adapt to evolving technologies and tactics while considering the impact of warfare on civilian populations and global peace initiatives. The historical evolution of warfare demonstrates how strategies have continually reshaped societies. Each conflict brought lessons that resonate today, reminding us that as tactics evolve, so too must our approach to peace. As we look to the future, the interplay of warfare and diplomacy will be crucial. New strategies will emerge that require not only military prowess, but also an understanding of international relations and cooperation. The legacy of warfare teaches us the importance of understanding history to avoid repeating past mistakes. As nations face new threats, lessons from previous conflicts can inform strategies for a more peaceful future. Ultimately, the evolution of warfare is a reflection of human ingenuity and adaptability. Each era's challenges have prompted societies to innovate, ensuring that the struggle for survival leads to advancements in both technology and human rights. In conclusion, the story of warfare is a complex tapestry woven with the threads of strategy, technology, and human behavior. As civilizations progressed, they faced their challenges with resilience, shaping the world we inhabit today. By the time of the Roman Empire, military formations like the Legion showcased a revolution in battlefield tactics. The use of organized infantry units allowed for greater flexibility and effectiveness in combat. These formations could adapt to various terrains and enemy strategies, ensuring Roman dominance across Europe and beyond. The introduction of cavalry during the Middle Ages marked a significant shift in warfare. Heavily armored knights charged into battle, breaking enemy lines and instilling fear. Their mobility and shock tactics changed the dynamics of engagements, leading to new strategies in both offense and defense. Siege warfare emerged as a critical strategy during the medieval period, where castles became formidable strongholds. Techniques such as trebuchets and siege towers were developed to breach walls. The prolonged nature of sieges often led to starvation tactics and psychological warfare. As gunpowder was introduced, the landscape of warfare transformed radically. The advent of cannons rendered castles less effective and shifted power dynamics. Armies adapted by creating fortified positions and incorporating artillery into their strategies, marking the dawn of modern warfare. The Napoleonic Wars exemplified the use of mass conscription and large-scale armies. Napoleon Bonaparte's strategies emphasized speed and maneuverability, effectively utilizing the core system. This not only changed battlefield tactics, but also the very fabric of European society. World War I introduced trench warfare, which changed the nature of combat. Soldiers faced grueling conditions in muddy trenches, leading to a stalemate on the Western Front. New technologies like machine guns and poison gas created a deadly environment that demanded innovative tactics. The interwar period saw a significant technological leap with the development of armored vehicles and planes. The strategies of blitzkrieg in World War II would rely heavily on speed and coordination, demonstrating how air power and mechanized units could redefine war strategies. The Cold War introduced the concept of limited warfare and proxy battles, where major powers avoided direct confrontation. Strategies like asymmetric warfare emerged as nations engaged in indirect conflicts through supporting allies in smaller, regional wars. Technological advancements led to the rise of cyber warfare, fundamentally altering how conflicts are fought today. Nations now engage in battles over information, targeting infrastructure, and disrupting communications without a single shot being fired. Today, the evolution of warfare continues with the integration of artificial intelligence and drones. These technologies allow for unprecedented levels of precision and surveillance, forever changing military strategies. As nations adapt, new ethical dilemmas arise about the future of warfare. Throughout history, the tactics and strategies of warfare have reflected the broader societal changes. Each era left its mark on military doctrine, reshaping not only the battlefield, but also the fabric of nations. The relationship between war and society continues to be a defining feature of human history. As warfare evolves, so do the motives behind conflicts. What began as territorial disputes have transformed into ideological battles, with nations fighting for beliefs, resources, and power. Each tactical innovation reflects the changing nature of these motives and the consequences they bring. Understanding the evolution of warfare requires examination of its consequences on civilian life. Historically, wars have led to significant societal changes, including the redistribution of power, economic impacts, and shifts in cultural identities. The scars of warfare often linger far beyond the battlefield. As we look to the future, the discourse around warfare continues to evolve. Discussions about ethical warfare, the role of international law, and humanitarian considerations in conflicts are becoming increasingly prominent. The challenge lies in balancing military objectives with the preservation of human dignity. The lessons learned from historical warfare shape how nations prepare for future conflicts. Military strategies are constantly analyzed and reevaluated to address emerging threats. The ongoing evolution of warfare is a testament to humanity's adaptability and ingenuity in the face of adversity. In conclusion, the evolution of warfare is a reflection of not just military strategies, but the evolving human experience. Each advancement in tactics and technology narrates the story of human conflict, resilience, and the unending quest for peace. The journey through these historical events allows us to glean insights for the road ahead. As the Middle Ages dawned, the introduction of heavy cavalry transformed battle dynamics. Knights in shining armor became symbols of power, using their strength and mobility to dominate the fields. This shift not only influenced military tactics, but also social hierarchies, as feudal lords relied heavily on these armored warriors. However, the rise of infantry would soon challenge the dominance of the knight. With the development of the longbow and pike formations, common soldiers began to wield power previously reserved for nobility. Battles like Crécy in 1346 showcased the effectiveness of these new tactics, reshaping the face of warfare. The introduction of gunpowder in the late 14th century marked another significant turning point. Cannons and muskets began to replace traditional weaponry, allowing armies to breach fortified walls and change how battles were fought. The Siege of Constantinople in 1453 was a prime example of gunpowder's devastating impact on castle defenses. By the 17th century, the emergence of professional armies further altered warfare. With disciplined formations and standardized training, these forces could execute complex maneuvers on the battlefield. The 30 Years' War illustrated the effectiveness of these techniques, leading to decisive victories and territorial changes across Europe. The Napoleonic Wars in the early 19th century introduced the concept of total war, where entire nations became involved in military efforts. Napoleon's strategies, such as rapid troop movements and the use of artillery en masse, reshaped European landscapes and emphasized the potential for warfare to engulf civilian populations as well. As warfare evolved, so did the technology that supported it. The Industrial Revolution brought advancements in weaponry, transportation, and communication. Railroads and telegraphs enhanced logistics, allowing armies to mobilize faster than ever before and significantly impacting the outcomes of conflicts like the American Civil War. In the early 20th century, World War I marked the dawn of modern warfare. The introduction of tanks, machine guns, and airplanes changed the landscape of battle. Trench warfare became a stark reality, highlighting the gruesome stalemates and the human cost of industrialized conflict. World War II further escalated these advancements with blitzkrieg tactics that emphasized speed and surprise. The conflict saw the rise of air power as a dominant force, with aerial bombardments reshaping cities and strategies. This war not only determined borders, but also altered global power dynamics. The Cold War introduced the concept of nuclear warfare, redefining the stakes of international conflicts. With the threat of mutually assured destruction, strategies shifted from conventional battles to espionage and proxy wars, leaving a lasting impact on global relations and military preparedness. In the 21st century, cyber warfare and drones have emerged as new frontiers in military strategy. The ability to conduct operations without direct combat has changed the nature of conflict, emphasizing information dominance and technological superiority. This evolution raises questions about the future of warfare and ethical considerations. As societies reflect on the evolution of warfare, the impact of these strategies on civilian life becomes increasingly evident. Each conflict has not only defined military history, but has also shaped cultures, economies, and political landscapes. Understanding these changes is crucial in navigating today's complex world. Looking forward, warfare will undoubtedly continue to evolve. The integration of artificial intelligence and autonomous systems into military operations suggests a future where human decision-making may be replaced by machines. This presents both opportunities and challenges for nations seeking to maintain security and ethical standards. The history of warfare is a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. As strategies and technologies have transformed, so too have the consequences of conflict. Each battlefield has not only been a site of struggle, but a reflection of the societies that engaged in them, marking the complexities of human nature. As we examine these transformative phases of warfare, it is essential to recognize the lessons learned. Each era of conflict provides insights into leadership, strategy, and the human cost of war. History is not merely a record of battles, but a guide for future decision-making and peace-building efforts. The evolution of warfare continues to shape our global landscape. As nations confront emerging threats and navigate geopolitical tensions, understanding past strategies will be crucial. The interplay between technology and tactics will play a significant role in how future conflicts are managed and resolved. Ultimately, the study of warfare is not just about understanding conflict, but also about the pursuit of peace. By recognizing the patterns of the past, societies can strive for a future where diplomacy prevails over violence. The journey through the evolution of warfare teaches us that every battle fought is a step towards understanding humanity. From the trenches of World War I emerged a new form of warfare marked by devastating technology. The introduction of tanks and airplanes shifted the dynamics of battle, emphasizing mobility and aerial superiority. These advancements not only transformed tactics, but also redefined the very essence of engagement on the battlefield. By World War II, the scale of warfare expanded massively, fueled by industrial capabilities and innovative strategies. Blitzkrieg tactics demonstrated how speed and surprise could dismantle enemy forces, leading to rapid victories. This shift in approach underscored the importance of coordination and intelligence in modern military operations. The Cold War introduced an era where the threat of nuclear warfare loomed large. Strategies centered not just on conventional battles, but on deterrence and proxy wars. Nations invested heavily in espionage and intelligence, realizing that information could be as powerful as weaponry. As warfare evolved, so did the role of ideology in conflicts. The rise of terrorism in the late 20th century shifted the battleground to urban environments, where asymmetric warfare became the norm. Traditional armies now faced non-state actors employing unconventional tactics. The digital age has transformed warfare yet again, with cyber warfare emerging as a critical front. Nations now engage in battles of information hacking and cyber espionage, altering the landscape of national security. This new domain has created opportunities, but also significant vulnerabilities. Modern warfare now incorporates artificial intelligence and robotics, revolutionizing how battles are fought. Unmanned drones and autonomous systems allow for precision strikes while minimizing risks to human soldiers. This technological leap raises ethical questions about the future of combat. As we examine the evolution of warfare, it is clear that each era has left its indelible mark on the course of human history. Strategies not only dictated the outcomes of battles, but also influenced political landscapes and cultural identity. The lessons learned echo through time, reminding us of the complexity of human conflict. Today, societies face the challenge of bridging the gap between historical warfare and contemporary peace-building efforts. Understanding the roots of conflict is vital for fostering dialogue and cooperation among nations. The evolution of warfare serves as both a warning and a guide toward a more peaceful future. In reflecting on the journey through the evolution of warfare, we recognize that while strategies have changed, the fundamental human desire for peace remains constant. As we move forward, let us strive to apply the lessons of the past to cultivate a more harmonious world, where understanding triumphs over conflict. As empires expanded, so did their military strategies. Ancient Rome exemplified this with the use of disciplined legions and fortifications, setting the stage for the dominance of structured warfare. These innovations were pivotal in both defense and conquest, allowing Rome to control vast territories. The rise of the crossbow marked a turning point in medieval warfare. Unlike traditional bows, this weapon allowed for greater power and accuracy from a distance. Armies equipped with crossbows could engage enemies at a safe range, shifting the dynamics of siege warfare. The introduction of gunpowder in the 9th century revolutionized military engagements. By the time of the Hundred Years' War, cannons and firearms began to replace traditional siege engines, leading to new tactics in both attack and defense. In the 18th century, the concept of total war emerged, where entire nations mobilized for conflict. This shift required civilians to support and sustain military efforts, fundamentally altering societal roles and expectations during wartime. As the Industrial Revolution progressed, so did the mechanization of warfare. The introduction of railways enabled rapid troop movements and supply chains, transforming the speed and scale of military operations. World War I marked the dawn of modern warfare, characterized by trench warfare and the use of new technologies like tanks and airplanes. These innovations changed the battlefield, leading to unprecedented levels of destruction and altering the course of history. The interwar period saw the rise of blitzkrieg tactics, exemplified by Germany's rapid invasion strategies during World War II. This approach emphasized speed and surprise, effectively overwhelming opponents and reshaping tactical doctrines worldwide. The Cold War introduced a new era of warfare defined by ideological conflict and nuclear deterrence. Strategies shifted from direct confrontation to the balancing act of maintaining power without provoking all-out war. In the 21st century, cyber warfare has emerged as a critical battlefield. Nations now engage in digital conflict, targeting infrastructure and information systems, showcasing how warfare continues to evolve in the modern world. The evolution of warfare has continuously shaped nations and societies throughout history. As strategies change, they reflect the complexities of human nature and the persistent desire for power and security. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for navigating future conflicts. Looking back, Each era of warfare has left indelible marks on civilizations. These conflicts have driven technological advancements and reshaped political landscapes, highlighting the duality of human progress and destruction. As we conclude this exploration of warfare, it is evident that understanding the past equips us to better handle present and future challenges. The lessons learned from historical conflicts can guide us toward peaceful resolutions and innovative strategies. In the end, the evolution of warfare serves as a reflection of humanity itself, its conflicts, innovations, and aspirations. May we learn from the past to foster a future where understanding prevails over strife and strategies of peace replace those of war.